Hey, peace world. My name is Wood. Hey, look, please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. Huge respect, love, and appreciation for all of the new recent subscribers to the channel. Trying to make this big push, this final push to clear this 1,000 mark to go on from there. So all of the new subscribers are immensely appreciated. Look, any engagement, I could have live streamed this, but I didn't feel like kind of managing the chat while I'm trying to make my point. But obviously, the title of this one is I haven't figured out what I was going to put just yet. But I'm seeing a lot of. It's my response to the talk about Che Noir being the new Nas, and in a commenter on here the other day, he made the comment that as God intended is Illmatic, I Am, and it was written all rolled up into one. Now I don't know if he meant it was influenced by all three of those and is a derivative of all of those or something. I didn't really take it. I wasn't offended by it, or that's sacrilegious or blasphemy or anything. But I just didn't want to I just wanted to urge people not to be a prisoner of the moment, because Che is now and is happening right now. And at the same time, I'm not trying to bring Che Noir down. I'm not trying to say that she's not dope, that she's not great, or isn't destined to do great things in the game. I think she's phenomenal. But again, so I'm gonna get into a couple of things and just say, don't be so quick to because this is the thing. Don't be so quick to push Nas, and young Nas in particular, into the past. We do this in sports. I bought a Lakers jersey, throwback jersey back in the day. That blue one from it was right after the Minneapolis one, and it was still blue, like a royal blue and white. It was the Jerry West was one, and then Elgin Baylor was 44. I think West might have been 22, maybe. I think I went with Baylor. But you don't even see Baylor highlights. You don't even see Elgin Baylor highlights. And then you go through and see that this cat's, his line for his career was 27, 14, and 4. 27 points per game. 14 and 4. Balling. It was a 3-year period where he averaged 36 points a game. He came into the league averaging 25 a game. Elgin Baylor is dope. It is a hell of a ball player. You've never seen a highlight of him. Never seen a highlight of him. But we talk about scores and filling it up. Bernard King, when they didn't even have the 3-point, they might have had the 3-point line early part of his career, I would wonder, but I'm assuming they did. But they didn't shoot the 3 like that back then. The idea of volume shooters, I don't even think you could do that in the NBA back then. I follow a lot of boxing. It's constantly comparing, Floyd to Sweet Pea to Pernell Whitaker, the late Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard, and then Sugar Ray Robinson. And we don't know. There's this school of thought out there that the old guys couldn't compete now, even though the body, the weight limits are the same. Guys back then, some of these guys a Sugar Ray Robinson knocked out more guys. Had more knockouts than a Floyd Mayweather had total fights. Now you could say some of those guys, even a Chavez Senior comes to mind. He was 87-0 or something before he had his first loss or draw. One thing that I like to look at is running backs. I feel like running backs might be a universal position. Even a 2012, a 2015, a 2020 back, a 1980 back, a 1975 back, you still had to go through holes and evade, or evade 11 dudes trying to tackle you. But we don't, and it's just what we do. It's like there's only, the frame of reference is only so many years, but we don't even look at what Eric Dickerson used to do. We don't even mess with the Juice because of what the Juice is, because of O.J. Simpson, but we don't even recognize what the Juice did. But Eric Dickerson, I still cannot think of the brother from the Bears before Walter Payton. We don't really look at Walter Payton, what he did. But we don't look at all of these old athletes and really respect what the hell they were. Then we get over into the rap game, and we don't really look at how dope KRS-One was, how dope Big Daddy Kane was, how dope Rakim is. We do still honor a Jay-Z and a Nas, and I'm getting ready to speak specifically on Nas. And I'm going to say one more thing before I kind of get into some different examples. Like, we don't even think about how dope a Chubb Rock was on his The One. And I don't think that was the name of the album, but that was the first song on that project. But we don't even dig in there and see how dope Chubb Rock's lyrics, his subject matter, and what just a Chubb Rock. He's not in anybody's top 5 discussion. But one thing we don't really think about when we, because now that we're further along in all of this stuff across the board, basketball, football, etc., across the board, we're several generations down the road now. We don't think of how the first to ever do it. We don't even think of, we don't place any extra value on that. Like when you look at a Nas, and I'm getting ready to talk about Illmatic, a couple of specific examples from Illmatic, when you want to put As God Intended, a phenomenal album. As God Intended is phenomenal. But you gotta stop and really intentionally think about the fact that Nas, there was no Illmatic. Nobody had done an Illmatic. Now you had The Ghetto from Rakim. You had Know the Ledge from Rakim. That influenced him. But Nas pulled this shit out of the air. He created this from the matter in between these two things right there. He built the shit with his hands and made this project that can be put on right now, and it knocks, slaps, burns, cooks, all of that shit. It's phenomenal. Last point before I touch on some of these examples. Nas was like, he was anywhere from 18 and a half, 19 and 20 when he said what he said. The classic, now I said what I said. He was 19 when he said this shit. He was born in September of 74, I believe. Illmatic came out in April of 1994. This ain't no dude. I don't even know if Nas graduated from high school. I honestly, no knock to him. I don't know. This ain't a dude that went to no community college, was well read. He never talked about no books that Nas. He never told you. Now he did in Belly. He talked about being a reader. We don't know if Nas read any shit. He was walking around Queensbridge absorbing all of this shit. A sponge, a walking sponge, absorbing all of this shit and figuring out commentary and I'm gonna tell you what, man. I can stop after this. What am I at? I'm at 10 minutes. nobody in the game has said anything more profound to me than I switched my motto. Instead of fuck tomorrow, that buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. Nobody said any shit better than that. I could end the video right there. You can scavenge through as God intended. You ain't finding nothing, no 4 to 6 bars comparable to that. They don't exist. I switched my motto. Instead of saying fuck tomorrow, that buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. End of the story right there. End of the video. So Che Noir does a hell of a job. She's thoughtful. She's like I got on the title, part of the thumbnail. They're both rebels. Che could have went out and got Conway, a feature from Conway, probably a feature from 38 Special, a feature from Benny. She probably could have did all of that shit. But it's almost like she said, "Nah, I don't want y'all bring." She didn't say this or think this, but she's over here handling real stuff and dealing with the community and the situation, and was like all of it. Because you can glorify drugs and the dope game and hustling and killing and murder, or you can kind of provide commentary on it. And you know, a lot of the times with the Buffalo boys, the Buffalo kids, you know, they do a lot more glorification of a lot of the drug trade and the game. They do. And she was over here on As God Intended doing some Illmatic shit. But let me jump into it because I'm already well into this shit. When we talking about comparing these two, man, you just not, and that's the thing, that just shows you how monumentally this 19, 20-year-old Nas was with this shit. The lead-off song, New York State of Mind. Rappers, I monkey flip them with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface sniffing cocaine, holding an M16. See with the pen I'm extreme. Now bullet holes left in my peepholes. I'm suited up with street clothes. Hand me a 9 and I'll defeat foes. Y'all know my stilo. With or without airplay, I keep some E&J sitting bent up in the stairway. Or even on the corner getting grants with the CeeLo champs. Laughing at bass heads trying to sell some broken amps. G-Packs get off quick. Forever ninjas talk shit. Reminiscing about the last time the task force flipped. Nuns be running through the block shooting. Time to start the revolution. Catch a body head for Houston. Come on, man. This dude is like, this is like Kyrie handles back in the 80s or something, or in 94. But he's murdering this stuff. This is where you got, I know this crackhead who says she gotta smoke nice rock, and if it's good, she'll bring you customers and measuring pots. But yo, you gotta slide on a vacation. Inside information keeps large nuns erasing in their wives' basin. It drops deep, as it does in my breath. I never sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of death. I want to say that's the first time we heard that. This dude, I just listened to some raps yesterday that was still saying cousin. My nephew has this line in his project that he just sent me last month. Then he says, beyond the walls of intelligence, life is defined. I think a crime when I'm in a New York state of mind. I'm blown away from the first track. Another thing, I meant to mention this. This is at 14 minutes. This is a very big point. I mentioned this in the comments. Another thing that Nas had in his favor while he was young, and maybe this is why I'm a struggle with putting Che Noir on this level. I was 18 when I heard this. I had never heard anything like it before. I had never heard nobody talk about the city and the urban blight and the struggle and the still jungle and the belly of the beast. I had never heard anybody phrase it all like and capture it all like this, and it blew my mind. So I'm saying now when the Che Noir comes along, she has to take the same subject matter and talk about it completely differently, more vividly. I don't know how you do that. Another verse that this is really disgusting, man. Life's a bitch. I mean, just I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20. It's a blessing. The essence of adolescence leaves my body now. I'm freshened. My physical frame is celebrated because I made it. 1/4 through life, some godly like thing created. Got rhymes 365 days, annual plus some. Load up the mic and bust one. Cuss while I puss from my skull, cause it's pain in my brain vein. Money maintained. Don't go against the grain. Simple and plain. When I was young at this, I used to do my thing hard. Robbing foreigners, take their wallets, their jewels, and rip their green cards. Dip to the project, flashing my quick cash, and got my first piece of ass, smoking blunts with hash. Now it's all about cash and abundance. Lens I used to run with is rich and doing years in the hundreds. I switched my motto. Instead of saying fuck tomorrow, that buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks produced stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Time is Illmatic, keep stabber like wool fabric. Pack a 4-matic to crack your whole cabbage. You're just not getting. She's just not doing that on there. Not a lot of dudes are doing that, to be honest with you. I'm not picking on Che. I'm just telling you, man. Nas was running for 2,000 yards in like 14 games. When everybody knew you didn't pass the ball, but 15, 18, 20 times a game. It's ridiculous. There was something else I wanted to another verse. The world is yours. He said I trip. We box up crazy bitches aiming guns at all in all my baby pictures. Beef with housing police. Release scripture that's maybe Hitler's. Yet I'm the mild, money getting style, rolling foul, the versatile, honey sticking wild, golden child. Dwelling in the rotten apple, you get tackled, or caught by the devil's lasso. Shit is a hassle. There's no days for broke days when selling smoke pays, while all the old folks prayed to Jesus, soaking they sins in trays of holy water. Odds against Nas of slaughter. Thinking a word best describing my life, to name my daughter my strength, my son the star will be my resurrection. Born in correction, all the wrong shit I did, he'll lead in right direction. How you living? Large or broke, on charge cards and mediocre. You flipping coke or playing spades and strip poker. Come on, man. Like, do you see what this dude is doing at 19 or 20? Che Noir is 26. This is just filthy right here. Memory lane. I rap for listeners, blunt heads, fly ladies and prisoners, Hennessy holders and old school nuns, then I be dissing her. Unofficial that smoke woolly tie. I dropped out of coolie high, gassed up by a cokehead cutie pie, jungle survivor, fuck who's the liver. My man put the battery in my back, a difference from Energizer. Sentence begins indented with formality. My duration's infinite, money-wise or physiology. Poetry, that's a part of me, retardedly bop. I dropped the ancient manifesto hip-hop straight off the block. I reminisce on park jams when my man was shot for his sheep coat. It's ridiculous. I only wanted to get into a couple more on One Love. I believe this is the third verse when he's talking to the young brother. Fucking with the corners, have a brother up in Bellevue, a HDM, hit with numbers from 8 to 10. A future in the maximum state pen is grim. So I comes back home, nobody's out but shorty doo-wop. Rolling two Phillies together in the bridge, we call them ooh-wops. He said, Nas, brothers caught me busting off the roof, so I wear a bulletproof and pack a black tray deuce. He inhaled so deep, shut his eyes like he was asleep, started coughing. One eye peeked to watch me speak. I sat back like the Mag, my army suit was black. We was chilling on these benches where he pumped his loose cracks. I took the L when he passed it. This little bastard keeps me blasting and starts talking mad shit. I had to school him, told him don't let brothers fool him, cause when the pistol blows, the one that's murdered be the cool one. Tough luck when brothers are struck, families fucked up. Could've caught your man, but didn't look when you bucked up. Mistakes happen, so take heed, never bust up. At the crowd, catch him solo, make the right man bleed. Shorty's laugh was cold-blooded as he spoke so foul. Only 12, trying to tell me that he liked my style. Then I rose, wiping the blunt's ash from my clothes, then froze, only to blow the herb smoke through my nose, and told my little man I'm ghost, I bros. Left some jewels in his skull that he can sell if he chose. Words of wisdom from Nas, try to rise up above. Keep an eye out for Jake, Shorty, Wop, One Love. Come on, bruh. This little verse right here was so inspiring that they brought it back and put it in the movie Belly as a scene in Belly. And Nas just got screenplay credit or whatever for Belly off of this verse. So then we go when you start messing around with I Am. Nas is still he's 26 or 27, same age as Che now. What he does in the first verse of New York State of Mind is just it's beautiful, tragic, or travesty or some shit. It's scourge, like beautified or some shit. Broken glass in the hallway, blood-stained floors. Neighbors look at every bag you bring through your doors. Lock the top lock. Mama should have cuffed me to the radiator. Why not? It might have saved me later from my block. NY cops, hookers crawling off the stroll, coughing, stitches in their head, stinking, and I dread thinking they be snitching. But who else could it be? Shook at these unmarked vans, parked in the dark. Narcs, where's your heart? Hustlers starve. They bust a Huey, I jog to my building, come out later wearing camouflage. See the sergeant and the captain, strangle men. Nuns gasping for air till they move no more and just stare with dead eyes. Tired of riots. Shit is quiet. Simple-minded fools infiltrate grimy crews. Overcrowded cribs. Uncles home from beds. Sisters pregnant. Fathers on drugs. Moms is smoking. Beds is piss infested. Had 8 partners growing up. 8 turned to 7. This shit right here. 7 turned to 6 ninjas. Got 2 in heaven. 6 of us holding it. Now it's 5 rolling thick. The 6 ones parole flip. 5 ninjas went to 4 quick. When he went OT, college life. Converted into game banging. 4 ninjas still hanging. Years passing and slang changing. 3 of us now. 4th ninja ain't around. We all thought he was real. He did that snake shit. Fake shit. Beat his ass down. Yo, this mouth could have got us all wasted. What a fucking clown. All I got left in the end is 2 of my best friends, and we all going out to the death of these ends. Just now, like I said, he's 26 or 27 here. Then the verse 2, I'm not even gonna go through it, but I'm at the gambling spot, my hands on a knot. New York Yankee cap cover my eyes, stand in one spot. I take a ninja dough, send him home to a shoebox. You lost that ninja, I put your dollar in the jukebox. Hear my favorite song, all these ninjas sing along. All the cigarette smokes clogging my lungs. Hood rash flashing their tongue. I'm just saying, man, when you start digging into this man's seasons, quote unquote, it's big plays in here, man. It's all pro stuff going on in there. And I'm not gonna lie, if you want to back it up to it was written in 96 when he is 24. I'm sorry, he's 22. He's 22. It was written. The remix to Street Dreams. Not to mention, If I Ruled the World, all the philosophy and the open up the cells in Attica, send them to Africa. Just, man, you gotta give Nas his love, man. I mean, you gotta understand that this dude was, and it was written, I believe, is where I Gave You Power, which is where Che Noir's Blood is Thicker kind of comes from. But I'm saying it was written when you get to looking at the remix of Street Dreams. Street Dreams was like, Nas, we need you to do this joint for the clubs and Big Willie stuff and be marketable and commercial. We get this on the radio. We got R. Kelly before he was a pariah. And Nas is on here with some of the illest poetry. I mean, it's Street Dream the remixes. His all through there is just, it's disgusting. I mean, it's filthy. It's ridiculous how good he went for, like 55 in that one. He went for like 81. His performance on that was really that dope, hands down. Now, I'm not hating here. You know, you look at Follow the Wisdom with Che Noir. She opens up with, I'm trying to, come on, y'all can't compare me to what these ninjas do. Selling drugs, that thing's, they don't know what that was, just to get us food. Now, the house so big, got a parachute to my living room. The money good, but it can't be a problem. But quick to put it on your head. Bitch, I'm hands-free with drama. We grew up with daddy issues because we ain't see our fathers, and they waited too late to tell us about Plan Bs and condoms. No respect for a ninja that do dirt with his mans, and when he get caught, he fold and tell what he learned on the stand. Starting a fire so long, I ended up burning my hand. The word struggle wrote a verse. Now my hand is like a fan. Now I'm on XXL covers. Ninjas and bitches from colleges to the jails love us. Just a chick from the hood that's doing Adele numbers. Hard to get your respect unless your skin is a pale color. Life wasn't prepared for it. She doing her thing. She doing her thing. But you can see that and that's the thing. We've distilled a lot of the stuff now. The subject matter, the substance. We've distilled a lot of that out of there, and all of that depth that you saw in Nas's bars and verses, that's no longer required. It's just the game's changed. Another favorite of mine in here, back to Blood is Thicker. Like I said, she's taking on another joint that Nas had was The Last Word, or These Last Words, with Nation and Millennium Thug. And Nas was everybody was rapping from like being the inside of the prison and what the prison does. I feel like this is kind of closer when in Che Noir's first verse, she kind of takes on and speaks and raps from the perspective of the trappings of the ghetto. But she starts out, they call me the ghetto, the hood, the judge that trenches the slums. I created fatherless homes with them innocent thugs. My straight bullets then took the life of kids while they young. A white man's world, so I never get visits from Trump. Street callings with liquor store drugs and 3 cops. That's what these ninjas getting wet off. Call that my G spot. Cause triggers, cause triggers is my clip. I bust when gats is spraying with they trigger fingers, cause that's how I get masturbated. I may be the reason that your seed deceased. I birthed kings and queens, gangster fiends, and thieves. Most of my buildings either vacant or drug spots. You dream to make it out, but then wake up to gunshots. I know you consider me your home, your family for life, but I betrayed you, left you scarred and damaged for life. I took a childhood from you and murdered your friends. If blood thicker than water, you better learn how to swim. She fired. She fired. She really is. And like I said, both of them are rebels. Both of them could have went one way with these projects and with these albums and tried to like chase some, I don't know what the hell multi-platinum is nowadays. That's very rare. But she could have went and did all of that. Like I said, she could have went and got the well-known guys, the guys that are doing so much right now. But she's like, nah, I'm going to do this by myself. I mean, she brings in Planet Asia, she brings in Black Thought, and she brings in Sky Zoo. But I'm just saying, man, we got to go back and understand a lot of key details. She mentioned in the '94 joint that closes out the album, you know, she mentions being born on the same day that Illmatic was released. She's obviously studied that album closely, the structure of it, the sequencing of it, the concepts behind some of the songs. Like I said, she didn't have to pull this out of the thin air. She didn't have to create this. Nas had to look around his surroundings, his environment. He didn't even have to. That's just how observant he was. And it was in him to get all of this out of him, and he did it. Not having any blueprint, no template to work from. And we gotta give dudes their full credit when you do stuff like that. They might not show us any Elgin Baylor highlights. They might not show us any Kareem Abdul-Jabbar highlights. They might take Frankie Beverly and Curtis Mayfield and Donnie Hathaway off the radio. You know, they might not show Marcus Allen and Eric Dickerson and whatnot. But that don't mean, actually, that doesn't mean that, like, you can't go back to something like in your personal time, go out for a walk, ride a bike, whatever, and intentionally sit there and listen to Illmatic and respect it for how great and how unique and how monumental it is. It's a reason why, like, shit, it's an album with like a family tree. He even told Jay, you know, I gave you a style to run with. Talking about this shit the way that the community, the hood, the neighborhood, the ghetto, the way that I did. And if you listen to Illmatic, it's one of those projects that just stands alone. Anyway, I didn't want to come out, like I said, I'm not trying to belittle Che Noir and what she's done, what she's accomplished. It's dope that I hear men talking about a female's project. See right now, what's going on with Meg Thee Stallion and some of these other people, some of the other females that out there. This seems to be a lady that stands on her own 10. And I'm not hearing, I mean, people are like organically or naturally interested in what she's doing because of how she does it. And it doesn't seem, it seems authentic. Like you want to root for her. I want to hear what she, and that's the thing. I hope people go back and check out JUNO. I tried to listen to JUNO before. It's been a few weeks before I listened to, since I've last listened to it. But I was mowing my grass doing one of my lawn casts that I do on my Instagram page, and JUNO is phenomenal. Like, don't think there's no depth there. Like, this might be it. Or it took years to get to this. Nah, a few months ago, she put out some real heat. Anyway, man, it's 34 minutes long, man. Let me get on off of here, man. I just wanted to make the point. Respect these individuals individually, you know, and don't rush to move on, and don't overlook the fact that the people who did things first, it's got to be some extra some type of merit that we give to the people for having done it first and making something out of nothing. Not to say that it's not like she put the track list of Illmatic here when she started putting together As God Intended. Oh yeah, he did that in this. He did Memory Lane. The World Is Yours. It's not like she tried to make direct parallels to everything that was on there. I'm not saying she grafted this off of Illmatic. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, man, she's obviously spent some time with that album and many of the other greats. She says it on 94, but she took all of that and still came out to what and gave us her thoughts on everything and her spoke on things from her vantage point and did a phenomenal job at it. So anyway, man, let me get on off of here. My name is Wood. I just had to talk for today. I haven't been to the barbershop. Nobody in the barbershop wants to talk about this shit anyway. My partners, we don't talk about music like we used to. So I just had to get in here and do what I do on my own. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Have a great rest of the weekend. Peace.